Back in February 2025, Omar was called out on social media for allegedly being worth tens of millions of dollars. And her response was to mock those claims and call her critics racist and bigots. And it was absolutely ridiculous to claim that she was a millionaire. She said she barely had thousands of dollars, let alone millions. And then she made her biggest mistake yet. She dared people to check her financial statements. According to an investigation by the Washington Free Beacon, Omar and her husband, Tim Minette, are now worth upwards of as much as $30 million. Yeah, let me repeat that. Ilhan Omar, the socialist, the cultural Marxist, the Somali immigrant who thinks you should have less of your money while the government takes more, because after all, she herself barely has thousands. Yeah, that same Ilhan Omar who every day wakes up and thinks, how can I convince more people that America is an evil, unjust nation? That very same Ilhan Omar is reportedly worth upwards of $30 million. Omar was recently found to be connected to one of the largest pandemic fraud cases in American history. Over 70 people have thus far been arrested for stealing upwards of $250 million. I was supposed to feed hungry children during COVID, but instead lined the pockets of fraudsters. The scheme was run through an organization called Feeding Our Future, and at the center of it was a Minneapolis restaurant named Safari, and the restaurant basically served as a front for this money laundering operation. And guess who was caught on camera promoting this very same restaurant? That's right, none other than Ilhan Omar herself. In June of 2021, there's actual video of Omar at Safari restaurant supposedly helping to distribute meals to children. Now, Omar's office, of course, claims she had no involvement in the scandal whatsoever, but we now know that Omar's campaign received $5,400 from two individuals who were later implicated in the fraud investigation. So when this came to light, her campaign quietly donated the money to local food shelves. But it got worse. Omar was actually the sponsor of the Meals Act in 2020, which expanded federal food aid during the pandemic. And this is precisely the very legislation that created the opportunities that fraudsters exploited to steal hundreds of millions of dollars, some of which did end up into her campaign coffers.